Ever wonder why the loud ones fade fast? Why those who bark, who spill their thoughts into every room they enter, who can't stop talking, they're always the first to crumble when the storm hits? Let me tell you something, kid. Silence isn't just a vibe. It's a weapon, sharp and deadly. If you don't learn to wield it, this world will chew you up, spit you out, and laugh while you're bleeding in the dirt. People think silence equals weakness. They assume if you're not firing back, you're scared. If you're quiet, you're broken. But that's their blindness talking. Silence isn't fear. It's focus. It's not surrender. It's strategy. The quiet ones, they're the ones building something real, waiting, watching. And when they move, it's precise, clean, no mess, just results, lethal results. You've been hurt, haven't you? I can see it in your eyes, betrayed, lied to, maybe even mocked. Your first urge is to scream, to call them out, to let the world know what they did. You want to shout until someone hears you. But hold up. You don't owe them your voice. You don't owe them your pain. You don't owe them your truth. Not yet. The more you speak, the more power you hand over. The more you explain, the more they twist your words. Silence, that's where your strength takes root. You sit in that darkness, bleed quietly, let it break you in private. Then you rise, silent, no warnings, no announcements. You show up transformed, and they choke on it. Let's break it down. Every word you speak reveals a piece of you, your mind, your heart, your fears, your plans. You think you're just venting, being real, but to them, you're handing over your playbook. Trust me, most people don't want to understand you. They want to use you. They want just enough to exploit your emotions, prod your insecurities, control your reactions. So why give them a single sound? Why let them read your script when you can keep them guessing every scene? The silent ones, they're the ghosts haunting every fake friend, every traitor, every loudmouth who thought they had you pegged. You go quiet, and they start to unravel. You stop explaining, and they question everything. You vanish, and your absence screams louder than any outburst. They thought your silence meant defeat. They thought you quit, but what they didn't see was you rebuilding in the shadows, calculating, training, cutting ties in your mind before the real world even noticed. You were studying patterns, not just theirs, but yours. Silence gives you that. Clarity, time, space to dissect your pain without performing it for an audience. You don't heal by airing your scars every day. You heal by closing the wound, stitching it shut in private, quietly, deliberately, and when it's done, you don't flaunt it. You wield it like a blade. People forget. Silence is the most honest answer. You don't need to justify yourself to those who've already chosen to misunderstand you. You don't need to beg anyone to see your worth. If they only noticed you when you were loud, they were never listening. So stop performing, stop explaining, stop talking. Let them assume, let them spin their theories, let them drown in their own guesses. You keep building in the dark. When you step back into the light, they won't recognize you. They'll act like they always believed in you, but you'll know. Deep down, you'll know who stood by while you broke and stayed silent. That's why you don't need revenge. You've already won. You're 10 steps ahead while they're still whispering, wondering what happened to you. Stay quiet, but never weak. Stay calm, but never passive. Observe more, speak less. Let your silence starve those who fed on your energy. Be unpredictable. Move like smoke. No trace, no warning. And when they ask what happened to you, don't answer. just smile. True revenge isn't loud or chaotic. It's silent, cold, calculated, like a ghost with unfinished business. You ready to become that ghost, or you still think words are your sharpest weapon? They don't teach you this in school or in those feel-good books about healing, love, and trust. They push you to communicate, to open up, to be vulnerable. But they don't tell you when to shut the hell up, when to step back, when to retreat into your own world and lock the door. Because real silence, the kind born from chaos, betrayal, heartbreak, that's your most powerful phase. That's where monsters are forged, where warriors are carved. You don't become unstoppable by shouting your story to the world. You become unstoppable by walking through hell with your lips sealed and a mind sharper than every blade that cut you. You stop reacting, stop answering, stop defending. You observe, you plan, you level up in secret. They'll mock your silence at first, call it weakness, say you vanished, that you gave up. Let them. That's the trap you set. Let them think you're gone until you reappear, a version they can't manipulate, can't lie to, can't hurt. Because the silent one, he saw it all. He remembered everything. He just stopped talking about it. Ever been in a room full of people and felt like a ghost? Not because they ignored you, but because you saw through them. Their words lost weight, their noise turned hollow. That's the first step to power. When chatter becomes cheap and your stillness feels rich. When their drama is just background noise and your peace becomes untouchable. That's your rebirth, your separation. But it stings, doesn't it? Silence isn't gentle at first. It's raw, brutal, because you got nowhere to throw your pain, no one to hand it to. You realize the world wasn't built to catch you when you fall. It was built to cheer when you hit the ground. That's when silence becomes your armor. It's not just quiet, it's detachment, protection, control. You choose who hears your voice, who sees your scars, who earns your words. And trust me, very few do. You keep thinking you owe explanations to people who didn't even check if you were okay. You think silence needs a defense? It doesn't. You don't owe them closure, a text, a call, a damn thing. Let them sit in the silence they created. Let them wonder if you're all right. Let them feel the absence of the you they took for granted. You think revenge is shouting back? Nah, real revenge is making them irrelevant. It's letting them talk to a wall of silence, knowing they'll never get access to you again. You want to win. Don't block them, don't curse them, outgrow them, and do it without a word. That's what they don't see coming. They brace for a fight. You give them a disappearance. They sharpen their knives. You stop showing up. That drives them wild. Ever seen someone unravel when you stop reacting to their chaos? That's the silent kill. You pull back your energy, and their whole world starts to crumble. Some people only exist off the attention you gave them. When you go quiet, they scream into the void, hoping you'll return just to argue. Don't. Let them choke on your silence. Let them destroy themselves trying to figure out why the puppet stopped dancing. You're done performing, done explaining, done giving. From now on, you move differently. You walk into rooms with your energy shielded. Your silence speaks for you. When they ask what's wrong, you don't answer. Not because you can't, but because they haven't earned your voice. Understand this. Silence isn't just about shutting your mouth. It's about knowing your worth. You don't explain loyalty to snakes. You don't justify your heart to cowards. You don't bleed for those who laugh at your wounds. Let them think you've changed. Let them gossip, call you cold, distant, heartless. Good. The man you're becoming doesn't need their approval. He needs results, peace, power. And none of that lives in noise. The real ones never had to shout. They just moved. They vanished, then returned as kings, legends, ghosts of their former selves. That's your path now. Stop whispering to those who stopped listening long ago. Let your silence finish what your loyalty started. Now, here's the part that stings, but you need to hear it raw. Most of them only stayed because you kept explaining yourself, softening your tone, justifying your heart, proving your intentions like your soul was on trial. You begged to be understood by people committed to misunderstanding you. That's the trap, the sickness, trying to force truth into the ears of liars. You thought the right words, the right actions would make them see. But all you did was teach them how to hurt you better next time. You spoke from your scars, and they took notes. You showed them your blueprint, and they used it to break you. When you finally shattered, they acted shocked, like they didn't know why. That's why silence is survival. It's sacred. You stop giving them ammunition. You stop handing over pieces of yourself to be torn apart. You stop performing for an audience that claps for your pain and vanishes during your healing. Silence isn't just about not speaking. It's about refusing to be dissected. I know it feels unnatural. You want to scream your side of the story, let it out. But here's the cold truth. They're not listening. They're just waiting to twist your words. Ever notice how they only hear what fits their narrative? How they act confused no matter how many times you explain? It's not that they don't get it. They don't want to. If they understood, they'd have to admit they were wrong. Face the mirror you hold up. And people hate mirrors when they're the monster in them. So let them call you dramatic, sensitive, toxic. Let them flip the blame. Every label they throw just shows what they fear, a version of you they can't control. Silence rewires you. At first, it's hollow. You'll replay everything, wishing for one last conversation to set things right. But over time, that craving fades. You see how pointless it was. Most talks aren't for healing, they're for ego. You wanted closure, but what you needed was distance. You wanted to be heard, but what you needed was peace. Silence delivers both. It burns away the fake, exposes the lies, shows you who people really are, not who they pretended to be. You stop chasing apologies, love, explanations. You stop chasing. That's when you win. Ever seen the panic in someone's eyes when you stop reacting? That's silence doing its work. They fed off your responses, your breakdowns, your explanations. They were addicted to the version of you that bled openly. But now, you don't bleed where they can see. You don't give them that satisfaction. You hurt quietly, heal privately, move secretly. The quieter you get, the more they crumble. Not because you said anything, but because you said nothing. That nothing is heavy. It echoes, it haunts. Silence makes them face every word they threw at you, every lie, every betrayal with no distraction. Their guilt festers in the quiet you left behind. Ever notice how loud silence gets when someone's guilty? It screams in their heads, chokes them. They thought you'd beg, break, but you vanished. You let silence carry your rage, your grief, your scars. And that silence is louder than revenge, louder than tears, louder than rage. You don't need a scene, an explanation, or proof. The version of you they toyed with is gone, dead, buried. What walks now is silence, cold, clean, calculated. When they come back with fake apologies and sweet words, your silence answers. No response, no closure, just absence. That's how you win. Quietly, completely, without mercy. You ready to embody that silence, or you still think words can fix what their actions destroyed? You keep seeing silence as soft, passive, weak, but you've never truly weaponized it. Most people, when they're silent, are just biting their tongue, holding back tears, waiting to explode. That's not silence. That's a pause. The silence I'm talking about is final, deliberate, a funeral for the version of you that begged, stayed loyal to snakes, explained your soul to cowards, thought love would save you. This silence isn't about control. It's about self-respect. You're not quiet because you're scared to speak. You're silent because there's nothing left to say. They heard you cry and didn't flinch. You tried being soft, and they called it weakness. You offered your heart, and they used it as leverage. Now, you offer nothing, not a word, not a sigh, not a hint of what's inside. Just silence, cold, sharp, eternal. Talking is currency. Every word you speak spends a piece of you, your thoughts, energy, focus. So who are you spending it on? People who never earned it, who only show up when it suits them, who cheered when you were drowning, and now want a front row seat when you rise. You speak to build, not to waste. You speak when it matters. Until then, stay silent. Watch, listen, let them reveal who they are without you giving away a thing. That's survival. That's evolution. Every word you don't say builds a wall they'll never climb. Ever met someone who only respects you when you stop explaining? That's how you spot the real listeners. Go silent and the fakes panic. They fish for drama, ask around, make up lies to fill the void you left. Your silence exposes their noise, shines a light on their nonsense. They wanted control, not connection. But when you cut the cord, when you shut the gate without a note, they realize how loud your presence was, how heavy your silence is. That's the twist. They mocked you when you were there. But now that you're quiet, they can't stop talking about you. That's the real flex. You let them have the last word, but you stole the last thought. You haunt their minds by saying nothing. You think being loud makes you memorable, number. It makes you predictable, readable, weak. You show your hand, expose your cards. They're watching, recording, ready to weaponize your words later. You bleed truth, thinking it'll free you, but truth doesn't free you in a world built on lies. It gets you crucified. So you stop, you starve them. You go dark, no warnings, no breakdowns, no dramatic exits, just silence. Let them choke on the questions they never asked when you were still answering. Let them sit with the version of themselves that only existed when you fed them your light. Now that light's gone, they're left with their shadows. That's a punishment you don't need to speak to deliver. Every man who's risen learned silence first. Kings don't scream, legends don't explain, ghosts don't beg to be seen. They become the silence, move with it. Let their absence speak volumes. Their focus cuts deeper than words ever could. Want peace? Go silent. Want clarity? Go silent. Want power? Go silent. You're not running. You're ascending, shedding the skin they used to recognize. When they see you again, they won't. Not really. The version they betrayed, doubted, laughed at, that version's dead. This new one doesn't talk, doesn't ask, doesn't explain, just moves. And when he moves, the world falls silent. Silence isn't just the absence of sound, it's the death of access. It's the funeral for every bridge they burned, thinking you'd rebuild it. It's you, standing in the ashes of what they took for granted, deciding you're done playing savior to those who drown themselves. It's brutal, cold, unforgiving, the only thing they respect. Not your love, not your kindness, not your efforts to prove loyalty. They don't hear that. They only hear loss. When your silence walks in and your presence walks out, they feel the price. Not when you screamed, not when you cried, not when you tried to explain one last time. That was just noise to them. But silence, it's the consequence. The echo of everything they ignored, haunting them in every empty moment they used to fill with your energy. That's when it hits. That's when they realize you were the realest thing they had, and they let it slip like it was replaceable. People don't remember the noise. They remember the silence that followed. The dead space where your voice used to live. The quiet void no one else could fill, because no one else was you. That's what keeps them up at night. Not your words, but the fact you stopped offering them. You walked away without drama, without goodbye, without the closure they thought they'd get. They thought they'd get another version of you tomorrow. That's how arrogant they were. But silence makes it real, makes it final. When it stretches into days, weeks, months, they realize you weren't bluffing. You were gone. Suddenly, everything they laughed at becomes sacred. Every word you spoke echoes louder in your absence than it ever did in your presence. Here's something that'll twist your gut if you've still got a heart to feel with. Most people don't love you. They love the version of you that serves them. They love your yes, your energy, your willingness to explain, your softness. But when you pull back, when you say nothing, that love rots, because it was never love, it was consumption. They fed off you, and you kept feeding them, thinking they were worth starving for. You thought giving more would make them see you, but silence taught you what love couldn't. The difference between being seen and being used. Now, you can't unsee it. You can't go back to bleeding for those who flinch at your wounds, explaining your soul to those who don't listen when you say you're not okay. Ever notice how those who had constant access to you start throwing shade when you go quiet? That's fear, guilt wearing arrogance's mask. They'll call you bitter, petty, overreacting, but they're scared. Silence exposes their behavior without your explanations to cushion it. They like the you that excused their mistakes, forgave too fast, explained too much. This silent you, it's a mirror they can't face. It reflects every wrong they did without you saying a word. They'll feel it in their sleep. In every moment they reach for you and find the lines dead. That's your revenge. No fire, no noise, just distance. Here's the darkest truth. Some of the people you love most will realize what they lost too late. Not when you leave, not when you go silent, but when they see you glow in your solitude, when they see the peace of no longer carrying their weight, when they realize your silence wasn't absence, it was transformation. You didn't go quiet because you were broken. You went quiet because you were becoming. When they come back with fake apologies, pretending they've changed, your silence will say no louder than any rejection. Let them taste it. Let it echo in the void they created when they took your voice for granted. You think you're alone in that silence, like no one feels the rage behind your stillness? The strongest, most dangerous men I've seen stopped speaking and started listening, not to others, but to themselves, to the voice drowned out by noise for too long. That voice is your guide now. That silence is your battleground. Don't run from it. Sit in it. Breathe it. Learn from it. When the time comes, let your actions speak, your energy speak, your glow-up speak. But you, stay silent. The loudest power never needs to announce itself. Here's what breaks most. They think silence is a pause, a waiting room before you go back to how things were. But real silence isn't a timeout. It's a transformation. It rewires you, changes your thresholds. You stop craving the noise that fed you. You stop needing to be understood, validated, heard. You grow beyond it. That growth is lonely, terrifying, because when you stop talking, the only voice left is yours, raw, honest, forcing you to face the truth. You allowed too much, gave too much, stayed too long, begged too hard. There's no one left to blame, just you and the wreckage. But that's where power begins. When you rebuild in silence, you rebuild for you, not others. That structure, that mindset, has no doors for those who tore you down. You were addicted to explaining yourself, weren't you? Every argument, every betrayal, you had to paint the picture, show your heart, thinking they'd stop hurting you if they saw how much you cared. But you just gave them a map to strike, explaining yourself to those who've made up their minds. That's weakness, desperation, self-betrayal. You were begging for understanding from people who thrived on misunderstanding you because it gave them control. When you went silent, you stripped that away. Without your mirror, they crumble. The world doesn't clap for silence, but it respects it, studies it. Why do you think people panic when the quiet ones move? The loud ones talk about what they'll do. The silent ones just do it. No previews, no drama, just results. Silence isn't about being cold. It's about being calculated. You stop responding not because you don't feel, but because you feel too much. You've learned not everyone deserves access to that depth. You stop showing your heart, not because it's gone, but because it's guarded. You stop defending yourself because the truth doesn't need defense. It stands alone, like you. It's funny how those who told you to shut up now can't stop asking what's wrong. They weren't ready for the silent you, the one who doesn't entertain nonsense, who doesn't play old games, who doesn't need to be seen to be dangerous. They wanted you emotional, because emotions made you predictable. Now, you're unpredictable, and that terrifies them. They can't provoke you, guilt you, bend you, because you're not there. You're not playing. When they lose your voice, they realize how loud your presence was. You gave them your words, and they didn't listen. Now you give them silence, and it echoes through their hollow world. Your absence suffocates what they thought they controlled. Your silence isn't the end of your story. It's where you start writing a new one without letting them hold the pen. You're not here to be loud anymore. You're here to be undeniable, quiet, focused, relentless. When they wonder what happened to you, the silence will answer, not with pity, not with noise, but with distance. That's louder than anything you could have said. Here's the truth most won't admit. The moment you stop speaking is when they start listening, but by then, It's too late. Your silence isn't an invitation. It's a verdict, a wall they'll never climb. You gave them time, clarity, and the benefit of the doubt until it broke you. Now, you give them nothing, not out of hate, but because silence is the only language they understand. You're not fixing anything anymore. You're not trying to be seen, heard, or rescued. You've accepted the truth. Not everyone at your table deserved a plate. Your silence flips the table, says no more. You don't scream it, don't explain it. Your stillness is the closure. Your absence is the lesson. They'll feel it every day. When do you become truly dangerous? When your peace is non-negotiable. When you stop responding just because they want a reaction. When you stop proving your worth and live like it's already known. That's when you become a storm in silence. They won't applaud your growth. They'll try to drag you back into the noise, call you cold, changed. But you're not cold. You're calm, not heartless. You just stopped handing your heart to those who played catch with it. You're not bitter. You're awake, seeing the game, the masks, the manipulation. Instead of confronting it, you choose the deadliest move: distance. A version of you died the day you chose silence over chaos. The you who explained, reached out first, forgave too fast. The world might miss him, but you won't. He was exhausted, anxious, pouring from an empty cup. He was loved for the wrong reasons, because he was convenient, accessible, made others feel better about themselves. This silent you, he doesn't play those roles. He doesn't seek applause or validation. He moves for himself. That solitude isn't empty. It's earned. You'll see it in their eyes when you pass them like they don't exist. That flicker of panic. They thought you'd never walk away, that you'd always come back to explain why they hurt you. Now, they see a ghost, a shadow, a memory louder than your presence ever was. That's what silence gives you, legacy. You become the one who walked away and never looked back, the one they talk about but can't reach, the one they tried to decode but whose language no longer exists. You evolved beyond it. They thought silence was retreat, that you crawled away to cry, to collapse. They didn't know you were studying, not just them, but yourself, dissecting your habits, your trauma, your patterns, cutting away weakness like rot, reshaping how you think, move, see. Silence didn't shrink you. It sharpened you, made you colder, wiser. Now you don't react. You choose. Every move is deliberate, every word calculated, every presence earned. You don't waste breath on dead conversations or argue with those missing the point. You don't explain your worth to the blind. You know who you are, and that knowing came from stillness, from facing the mirror without running. They hate that you didn't stay broken, didn't stay soft, didn't stay available. Your silence proved they were never necessary. They'll try anything to get a reaction, talk about you, lie, provoke, but you've outgrown the need to respond, to defend yourself against those who chose to misunderstand. Let them scream into the void. Let them spiral. You keep building quietly, strategically, alone. Silence doesn't just protect your peace, it multiplies it. People expect explosions, think power is loud, angry, chaotic. They forget the deadliest storms come without warning. No thunder, no lightning, just wind, just destruction, just silence before everything shifts. That's you now, a silent storm. They'll laugh until they choke, mock until they can't breathe. When they realize what's happening, when your silence becomes unbearable, they'll claw their way back, promising they've changed. They understand. They're sorry. But you're not in the business of recycling pain. You're not reteaching lessons you bled for. You're not giving second chances to those who wasted the first. You're not making space for those who left you starving. They'll call you cold, heartless, unforgiving. Let them. You didn't get here by being soft. You got here by surviving every attempt to kill your spirit, by going silent when screaming was easier, by walking away from what you once prayed for. You're not cold. You're precise, intentional, dangerous in a way they'll never grasp. They only know how to fight with noise, to win by dragging you into arguments, explanations, proving your truth. You don't do that anymore. You fight with results, with elevation, with absence. Nothing is scarier than a man who disappears in silence and returns in power. Stay quiet, stay distant, stay unpredictable. Let your silence speak volumes your words never could. Let it echo through every space you've left behind. Haunt those who took you for granted. Carry the pain you no longer perform. When they finally see what they lost, when it hits that you're never coming back, not as you were, they'll want to talk, to fix it, to find closure. But you'll already be gone, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Your silence will have buried what they're trying to resurrect. That's the silence that changes everything. That's your legacy. Speak it with your stillness. You think rage is your strength, don't you? You believe shouting at the top of your lungs, smashing things and lashing out will make them regret their actions. Let me tell you something. Anger is weak. It's the simplest thing to provoke. They expect it. They want it. Because the moment you lose control, they lean back, smug, and say, "See, I knew they were unhinged." They'll cast you as the villain in their tale and sleep soundly, thinking they've won. But silence is a blade they never see coming. It's not just the absence of words, it's the denial of their victory. When you refuse to react, you rob them of the satisfaction they hunger for. And that starvation, it's the slowest, most agonizing defeat they'll ever face. Think about it. Every insult they sling, every trap they lay, it's bait. They're begging you to bite. But when you stand there unshaken, staring straight into their soul, they unravel. Their confidence falters. Their mask slips. And suddenly, they're the ones questioning themselves. Your silence becomes the loudest force in the room. Trust me. That quiet will haunt them far longer than any outburst ever could. Now, don't misunderstand me. I'm not telling you to bury your pain. Number. Pain is a fierce teacher. It sharpens you, forges you, turns the fragile parts of you into iron. But here's the key. You don't let them see it. You don't give them the pleasure of knowing they wounded you. Instead, you take that pain and shape it into something untouchable. Do you know why diamonds are so prized? Pressure. Endless, relentless pressure. It's not the fire that makes them indestructible. It's the quiet endurance. Be like a diamond. Let the weight bear down on you, but never let it break you. When the world looks at you, let them see something unbreakable. Here's another truth. Walking away isn't cowardice. Oh, they'll call it that. They'll say you're fleeing, that you're scared. But walking away is the ultimate power move. It says, you're not worth my time. It's the difference between wrestling in the dirt and soaring above it. When you leave them shouting at empty air, you've already won. They'll despise it. They'll hate that you didn't sink to their level. That's the beauty of silence. It doesn't just shield you. It dismantles them. They'll replay every word, every moment, trying to pinpoint where they lost their grip. And you you'll be miles ahead, untouchable. Let me share a story. There was a man who spent years plotting vengeance against those who betrayed him. He burned bridges, destroyed relationships, all to make them pay. And when the day came, when he stood over their ruins, do you know what he felt? Emptiness. Because revenge doesn't mend wounds, it deepens them. The only true revenge is thriving. It's building a life so vibrant, so full, that their existence becomes insignificant. What stings more? Seeing someone weep over you, or watching them flourish without you? That's why you stay silent. That's why you rise. Nothing crushes an enemy faster than proving they have no hold over you. Here's a hard truth to swallow. Most people don't care about your pain. They don't lose sleep over your tears or your scars. They'll trample you, mock you, and move on like you're nothing. So why waste your breath trying to make them understand? Let your actions roar. Let your silence scream. There's a saying I love. The wolf doesn't concern itself with the chatter of sheep. You're the wolf, strong, silent, unyielding. The sheep will bleat, gossip, and try to drag you down, but a wolf doesn't stoop to their level. It stands tall, watching, waiting, and when it moves with purpose. If you want them to feel your pain, don't shout. Don't cry. Just stop. Stop chasing them. Stop explaining yourself. Stop giving them a reaction. Your silence will echo louder than any words. It will gnaw at them, keep them awake, make them wonder why their games don't work anymore. In that wondering, they'll unravel themselves. You have a choice. You can let their words shatter you, or you can let your silence shatter them. One path keeps you chained to their control, the other sets you free. But freedom has a cost. It's lonely, it's dark, it's cold. Not everyone can bear it, but those who can, they become legends. They think they own you. Every insult, every slight, every backhanded remark, it's their way of keeping you in check, pulling strings to make you dance like a puppet. And for a while, you let them. You let their words sink in, let their opinions shape you. But what they don't know is this: the moment you stop reacting, you reclaim your power. Silence isn't just a response, it's a rebellion. It's the ultimate declaration that their words are meaningless. And when they realize they've lost their hold, that they can't rattle you anymore, the tables turn. People thrive on control. They need to feel like they're steering the ship, dictating the story. But when you go quiet, when you deny them the satisfaction of a reaction, you cut their strings. Their puppet show collapses. And do you know what happens when they lose control? They panic. They crumble. They break. Let me tell you about expectations. They're a cage. People build a tidy little box for you, stuffed with their rules, their limits, their version of who you should be. Step outside it and they'll try to shove you back in. But here's the secret. They don't want you to know. You owe them nothing. Not your explanations, not your compliance, not your pain. You weren't born to fit their mold. The sooner you stop trying, the sooner you'll see how small their box really is. The world beyond their rules. It's vast, it's yours, and silence is the key. When you stop justifying yourself, stop defending every move, you stop playing their game. And when you stop playing, they lose. It's that simple. You want to know what truly haunts people? Not the things they've done, but the things they didn't do. The words left unsaid, the chances not taken, the people they lost. One day, they'll look back on how they treated you. They'll replay every argument, every moment they made you feel small. And what will they see? You, standing there, silent, unbroken, and gone. Regret is a slow poison. It eats away at the soul bit by bit. The worst kind of regret isn't losing someone. It's realizing they're better off without you. That's the regret you'll leave them with, not through anger, not through vengeance, but through the quiet, undeniable truth of your absence. Here's a harsh reality. The best revenge isn't being remembered. It's being forgotten. When someone forgets you, it means you've stripped them of the one thing they craved: significance. They wanted to be the hero or the villain in your story. But when you go silent, when you move on without them, you reduce them to nothing. A footnote, a forgotten page in a book you're still writing. That's a wound time can't heal. Let's break it down logically. Biology. Humans are wired for connection. We crave attention, validation, acknowledgement. Silence disrupts that. It creates a void, and nature hates a void. They'll try to fill it, but they won't know how. In their confusion, they'll unravel. Psychology. Ever heard of projection? People cast their fears, insecurities, and failures onto others. Your silence becomes a mirror, forcing them to face their own reflection, and most people can't handle what they see. Sociology. Society thrives on noise, gossip, arguments, endless chatter. It's all just noise. But silence stands out. It's rare, it's powerful, it commands attention. When you're silent, you control the narrative. In a world obsessed with being heard, silence is the ultimate act of defiance. Let's talk about pain, not the kind they caused you. That's old news. I'm talking about the pain you'll inflict on them, not with violence or chaos, but with the sting of realization, the pain of seeing you rise while they sink. Your silence is the currency of that pain. Every moment you don't respond, every time you walk away, you're making an investment, and the return, devastating. They'll feel it in every empty room, every sleepless night, every awkward pause, because silence doesn't just hurt, it lingers. One day, they'll call you strong. They'll call you enigmatic. They'll wonder how you stayed so composed while the world tried to tear you apart. The truth? You didn't just survive, you thrived. Silence isn't just a weapon, it's a legacy. When you're gone, they'll tell stories about you. Not the kind they tell about loud, angry people. Your story will be different. They'll speak of how you stood tall, how you faced them without a word, how your silence roared louder than any scream. So, what's it going to be? Will you waste your energy on people who don't deserve it, or will you let your silence speak? Because trust me, your silence will break them in ways anger never could. It'll haunt them, it'll change them, and it'll set you free. You don't need their validation, you don't need their approval. All you need is the strength to stay quiet, to stay focused, to rise above. And when you do, they'll never forget you, even if you forget them. Have you ever noticed how the loudest people are the weakest? They yell, they scream, they throw tantrums like children, thinking the volume of their voice equals the weight of their words. It doesn't. It just shows their desperation to be heard. True strength? It doesn't shout. It doesn't need to. Strength is silent. It's the calm at the heart of the storm, the unshakable core when everything else crumbles. And that silence, it terrifies people. They can't figure it out. They can't predict what's coming. That's the power of silence. It's not passive. It's strategic. Every time you hold your tongue, every time you choose not to react, you're planting seeds of doubt in their minds. You're making them question everything. And that's when you've won. People love their games, mind games, emotional games, power games. They'll push your buttons, prod your weaknesses just to see how far they can go. Most people fall for it. They react, they play along, but not you. Not anymore. When you refuse their game, you're not just walking away. You're flipping the board. You're showing them their tricks don't work. And nothing frustrates a manipulator more than losing control. They'll try harder, get louder, get nastier. But the harder they try, the weaker they look. And you just keep walking, silent, unbothered, invincible. Here's a secret. People hate mirrors, not the physical kind, the emotional ones. They hate facing their flaws, their failures, their fears. Your silence is that mirror. When someone lashes out, when they try to hurt you, it's not about you. It's about them, their insecurities, their pain, spilling over. When you stand there, silent and strong, you're forcing them to confront the very things they've been running from. Most people would rather burn the world down than face themselves. Your silence makes them do it. Picture a fortress, tall, impenetrable, with walls so thick nothing can break through. That's your silence. They can scream, they can throw everything they have, but those walls don't crack. And while they exhaust themselves trying to breach you, you're conserving your strength. You're growing stronger. You're building. When the dust settles, when they're left in the rubble of their own chaos, you'll still be standing, untouched, unshaken, victorious. Silence isn't easy. It's not for the weak. It takes discipline, strength, patience. It's lonely. It's isolating. It makes you question yourself. But that's the point. Silence forces you to face yourself, to confront your own demons. And in doing so, it makes you stronger than you ever imagined. Most people can't handle it. They'd rather drown in noise than sit in silence. But you're different. You're stronger. And that strength will carry you to places they can only dream of. Ever watch someone crumble under their own arrogance? It's a beautiful thing. The louder they are, the harder they fall. Pride is fragile, built on a shaky foundation of ego. And ego, it shatters easily. Your silence is the hammer. Every time you refuse to engage, every time you rise above their pettiness, you chip away at that foundation. One day, it'll collapse. They'll fall apart, not because of what you said or did, but because of the weight of their own pride. And you'll be long gone, too far ahead to hear the crash. Success doesn't just speak, it screams, louder than any argument, louder than any insult. When you thrive, despite everything they did to break you, that's the ultimate revenge. But success takes time, it takes work, and most of all, it takes silence. While they waste their energy on noise, you're focused, you're building, you're growing, and when you reach the top, they'll look up and realize they can't touch you. Not now, not ever. One day, you'll look back on the pain, the struggles, the people who tried to tear you down, and you'll realize something incredible. They didn't break you, they made you. Every insult, every setback, every moment of doubt shaped you into who you are. And who you are is unstoppable, unbreakable, a force to be reckoned with. Your silence isn't just a response, it's a legacy. It's the story you'll leave behind, a story of strength, resilience, and rising above. When people tell that story, they won't talk about those who hurt you. They'll talk about how you overcame them, how you stood tall when the world tried to bring you to your knees, how your silence became the loudest roar they'd ever heard. What's it going to be? Will you let them drag you into their chaos, or will you rise above? Will you let their words define you, or will you let your silence speak? Because in the end, your silence will break them in ways anger never could. And you'll walk away stronger, wiser, untouchable. Let's be clear, silence isn't just a defense, it's a revolution. It's you declaring, I don't play by your rules anymore. Revolutions don't need banners or speeches, they need resolve. Quiet, calculated action. When you choose silence, you stop feeding their fire, you let it burn out. And in the ashes of their chaos, you build something unshakable. That's the power of silence. It doesn't just protect you, it transforms you. It's not about ignoring them, it's about outgrowing them. When a tree outgrows its roots, it doesn't stay confined. It cracks the pavement, breaks free. Your silence is that growth. It's you shattering their expectations, their judgments, their limits. Once you've grown beyond them, there's no going back. People throw words around like they're weightless. Insults, accusations, lies. They spit them out without a thought for the damage they cause. But words have weight. If you're not careful, they can crush you. Silence is your refusal to carry their baggage. You're not their dumping ground. You're not their punching bag. You're a fortress, and a fortress doesn't crumble under the weight of words. It stands tall, unyielding, unbreakable. When you stay silent, you strip their words of power. You take away their ability to hurt you, and that drives them mad. They need to feel important, like they matter. Your silence reminds them they don't. Letting go sounds simple, doesn't it? But it's one of the hardest things you'll ever do. Letting go isn't just moving on. It's accepting that some people, some situations aren't worth your energy. Not everyone deserves a seat at your table. Not everyone deserves access to your heart, your mind, your soul. Letting go is reclaiming your space. It's saying, I deserve better. But letting go doesn't mean forgetting or forgiving. It means freeing yourself from their chains. It means choosing peace over chaos, strength over weakness, growth over stagnation. And that choice, that's power. Ever notice how much energy it takes to react, to argue, to defend yourself? It's exhausting. And for what? To prove a point? To win a fight? The real winners don't waste their energy on battles that don't matter. They save their strength for the wars that do. Every time you react, you're giving them a piece of yourself, your energy, your focus, your peace. For what? So they can feel validated, so they can feel like they've won. Number. That's not how this works. Your silence is your shield. It conserves your power. And when the time comes to fight, you'll be ready. While they're worn out from their petty battles, you'll stand tall, prepared for whatever comes. Let's talk about loneliness. Strength is lonely. Silence is lonely. Walking away is lonely. But that loneliness is where you find yourself. It's where you discover who you are. Surrounded by noise and chaos, it's easy to lose yourself, to forget what you stand for. But in silence, there's no hiding, no distractions, just you, raw, unfiltered. That's where growth happens. It's not easy. It's not pretty, but it's necessary. The strongest people, the ones who change the world, face themselves in silence. They embraced the loneliness and came out stronger. Those who try to tear you down, they're terrified of you. They won't admit it. They'll mock you, belittle you, try to make you feel small. But deep down, they're scared of your potential, your strength, your independence. That's why they lash out. They try to control you, manipulate you, break you. Because if they can't bring you down, they have to face their own weakness. And that's a truth they can't bear. Your silence forces them to confront it. Every time you don't react, you remind them of their fragility. That's a pain they can't escape. Now let's talk about the future. That's what this is about. Not the past, not the people who tried to break you, but the life you're building, the empire you're creating. Your silence is the foundation of that empire. It gives you the strength to keep going, no matter what they throw at you. And when that empire stands tall, unshakable, they'll look up and realize they were never part of it. They'll try to take credit, try to worm their way back in, but it'll be too late. You'll have built something so strong, so powerful, nothing they say or do can touch it. That's the ultimate victory. So here's the deal. You can keep fighting battles that don't matter, wasting your energy on people who don't deserve it, or you can choose silence. You can choose strength. You can choose to rise above. The choice is yours. But remember, your silence isn't just a response, it's a weapon. It's a legacy. And one day, they'll realize it was the loudest thing they ever heard. This world drowns in noise. People talk, argue, shout. They never stop. It's empty chatter, desperate attempts to be heard in a world that doesn't listen. Most of it is meaningless. People trying to fill their inner voids by creating chaos. But you don't need to add to the noise. When you stay silent, when you choose not to engage, you become something rare, something different, and people fear what they don't understand. Your silence makes you unpredictable. They can't read you, control you, manipulate you. That terrifies them. In their noisy little world, your silence is a reminder of what they lack: peace, strength, self-control. Here's something people hate to admit. The way they treat you often has nothing to do with you. It's about them, their insecurities, their fears, their failures. They project it onto you because they can't face it themselves. When they lash out, when they try to tear you down, it's not about who you are. It's about who they're not. They see in you something they'll never have: strength, resilience, potential, and it eats them alive. When you react, you validate their actions, give them permission to keep treating you that way. But your silence, it denies them that. It forces them to sit with the weight of their own actions. And that weight is heavier than you think. Ever watch a predator in the wild? A lion, a wolf, a hawk? They don't chase every little thing. They wait, they watch, they choose their moment. That's what makes them deadly. Be the same. Don't waste your energy reacting to every slight, every word, every bit of chaos. Stay still, stay focused. Choose your battles wisely. Stillness isn't weakness, it's strategy, it's control. In a world of shouting and screaming, stillness is power. It's you saying, I don't need to prove myself to you. I'm above your games. Anger burns fast and bright. It consumes everything, but it fades quickly. Silence lingers. It stays with people, haunts them, makes them question everything. Think about the last time someone hurt you. Not the loud ones, not the ones who made a scene, but the ones who walked away in silence. The ones who left you alone with your thoughts, your guilt, your regret. Those are the ones you never forget. That's the power of silence. It doesn't just end the conversation. It lingers in the room long after you've left. It becomes a ghost, a shadow, a reminder of everything they did wrong. That kind of pain doesn't fade. Why do they fear you? Not because of what you've done, but because of what you could do. Your potential terrifies them. Your silence reminds them you're capable of things they can't imagine. When you stay quiet, when you refuse to react, you force them to imagine the worst. They'll wonder what you're thinking, what you're planning, what you're capable of. Their own imagination will destroy them faster than anything you could say. The unknown is the most terrifying thing of all, and your silence makes you the unknown. Pain is inevitable. You can't escape it no matter how hard you try. But pain doesn't have to destroy you. It can shape you, mold you, make you stronger if you let it. Your silence is how you turn pain into power. It's you saying, yes, I'm hurt. Yes, I'm angry. But I won't let you see it. I won't let you win. Think about steel. It's forged in fire, beaten into shape, cooled in silence. That's you, strong, unbreakable, forged in the fires of your pain and tempered by the cold silence of your strength. One day, people will look back at your life. They'll remember your words, your actions, your impact. But most of all, they'll remember how you made them feel. Your silence is part of that legacy. It's a reminder that you didn't let the world's noise drown you out, that you didn't let others' chaos define you, that you stood tall, stayed strong, and chose peace over conflict. That legacy isn't just for you. It's for those who come after, who look to you for inspiration, for strength. Your silence isn't just a response. It's a lesson, a reminder that sometimes the strongest thing you can do is say nothing at all. What's it going to be? Will you waste your energy on people who don't deserve it, or will you let your silence speak? Will you let them define you, or will you rise above? Because in the end, your silence will break them in ways anger never could. And you'll walk away stronger, wiser, free. The choice is yours. But remember, silence isn't weakness. It's power. It's strength. It's everything they fear. And it's everything you are.